At this point, we're ready to add a mold base to the job, and then we'll start looking at making inserts and things like that, adding ejection and water. So in order to add a mold base, it is important that this top assembly is activated, and we're going to go up here to mold design, mold base, new mold base, and yeah, let's talk about this location right here. It needs to be pointing to the appropriate folder, and I want to point out that when you install the catalogs, you're choosing where they get installed. But let's say I want a PCS base, I'm not going to PCS here. It's actually a subfolder called Mold Design Configurations. Once you go into that folder, you'll then see the mold bases. Here you've got DME, Hasco, PCS. So be sure that you pick the right folder in order to access the mold bases. And I have to decide if I want a 7-plate mold or a 9-plate mold. We're going to do inserts on this one, so it'll be a 9-plate. And I can choose non-standard if I want, but we're going to use a standard. I'm going to go with 13 by 18. And we should be able to go to the top view, see how that fits. I don't normally use this, but I'll explain it real quick. Here you have margins. What this is for is if you specify the margins that you want to have for each of these parameters, it can kind of auto suggest a mold base size based on these margins. I've just gotten in the habit of eyeballing it. Alright, and then also this is important, this clearance. If I were choosing a 7-plate and going to cut the parting line into the A plate and the B plate, I probably would have to push the A and B plates together. This picture is showing hold open, okay? So a positive value here will provide hold open at the parting line, and a negative amount will push the A and the B plates into one another, so that as you cut the parting line and the part, you're trimming off the A plate that's pushed into the B plate, and you're trimming off the B plate that's pushed into the A plate. So just know that this is where you would control that. Okay, here we're going to pick the plate thicknesses. Let's go to an end view, and we'll make the A plate 2 3/8, the B plate 2 3/8. We'll change the rail height to 3 inches, and everything else we'll leave alone. Here we can see the overall thickness of the mold base. And we're going to take all the components. You could choose to omit some things here if you wanted. Okay, and on the left you're going to see each of these sub-assemblies activating as it pushes the appropriate components into the appropriate sub-assemblies. Okay, so here we see that the B plate isn't tall enough in order to have this shape cut into the B plate, and that's okay because we're going to add an insert, and that insert will be tall enough. But this is what I meant by we may have had to push this whole movable side up so that the top of this face right here is higher than this point, so that we could do a cut with it. But that's not what we're doing. We're going to have an insert that's taller than that.